be honest with you guys, I didn't even think I would be recording any kind of video. Only because my cousin was in the hospital. Been in the hospital for a while. Health issues and stuff like that. Nothing as far as COVID of what I had the understanding of. Just other health issues as far as just things that was going on with him and his body and everything like that. So I hear that he is on life support. And maybe noonish, I think my mom hit me up telling me that he didn't make it and he had passed away. And it's one of the hardest things dealing with any kind of death in any kind of capacity, especially when it hits close to home. He played a big role with his interactions with different people and stuff like that, and then trying to get himself together. Getting your life together is not the easiest thing. With the health issues, I believe a lot of it was coming from what he was eating. I think a lot of us don't really understand how serious these kind of things can get until you're sitting down knocking on death's door, to be completely honest with you. It hit me differently, because even when I lost my aunt, I think it was a couple years ago, but when I lost my aunt, it hit me a little different because with that, I remember her, but I didn't remember her recently, if that makes any sense. As far as like dealing with her, it was more a lot of stuff. Like, she was one of the first people, if not the first person. I believe my mom said she was the first person to hold me when I was a baby. And my mom says she looks just like her. And I believe I could see that, stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff that hits when that happens. But going down to another family member, and we have my cousin. And this is the thing too, because it's like, with it being health issues, stuff like that, he's in his 40s. I believe it was like low 40s. He was young. I had to sit there and think about a lot of stuff when it came down to it, because I had interacted with him a little bit more frequent, but I hadn't interacted with him in a while. And I heard that he was supporting my YouTube channel and stuff like that, which was amazing because, I mean, I get a decent amount of people who probably do support my YouTube channel, and probably so many who know I do YouTube and don't. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I have family. I have a lot of family, and for me to have so much family members that I don't really understand what their take is on my success, like this, like is interesting. Like, I'm sure they're living their own life, doing with their own stuff, and everything like that. But it's interesting because like me starting to do YouTube and music, at least for the YouTube sake, like I can understand the music because I'm still trying to grow with that. So it may be kind of like everybody might have a different opinion, but for me doing YouTube, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like so many people, I post stuff on like my social medias and everything like that. So many people see it, and how many of those same people who see my posts, as I constantly post saying check the channel out, subscribe to the channel, the people who's supposed to be like close to me, especially if it's family, but friends too, and no one checks and really shows that I'm there for you kind of mentality when it comes to that. And so it's very interesting to hear that he was like, he supports the channel. He's proud of what I'm doing and everything like that. The way he like interacting with him and stuff like that, even just on the phone, like I talking to him recently when I was spending time with my mom, and like he like just saying the way he's like interacting stuff like, yo bro, like I see you doing your thing, Joe, like let's, like the way like I'm like yeah, I'm like okay man. And it, like I'm laughing and stuff because that interaction, and like I'm doing good out here, and it gives me a light, because for the longest time I've had no motivation, not just because of me not having self-motivation, but I kind of felt like I was being pushed in different corners to not do what I really want to do, and just not really knowing how to push myself in that aspect. And then when I get out there, it's like, I feel like, am I doing the right thing? Is this gonna, you find yourself, I don't know, like I'm not trying to be the person trying to please everybody, I had to learn to do things on my own. And with you having people believing in yourself, it makes you not want to give up. I sat there for YouTube and music in particular, and I'm watching people do YouTube videos, and I always told myself I wanted to become a YouTuber. Oh, that is so cool, but I never thought that I'd be able to do it. I never thought I'd sit in front of the camera and just talk. Like, how simple is this? It has so many different ideals of what I'm supposed to be doing, but never really like no one backing me up in my corner to help get me where I need to be. Never knew if I'm ever doing the right thing. I always felt like any mistake that I make, I second guess myself and stuff, overthinking, not knowing what is the right thing that I'm supposed to be doing at this moment. I always hear like people are further along than I am, or the fact that people younger than me are starting to overlap me and stuff like that. And I hear a lot of stuff, and it's hard to really tell what's supposed to be like motivation, like get your shit in gear, like let's go. Plenty of times in my life, even when a birthday passed and I sit there and I reflect and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But a lot of stuff can put you in a huge depression that can really affect you overall, and you just sit there not even thinking about it no more. Realistically, I feel like that the mentality that you have really puts you into the next level that you need to go. It's all a mind state of what you want to do and how you want to accomplish things, you know. It's very interesting because for me to be the kind of person who deals with depression on a daily basis, in the past, I was not eating correctly. You don't think about the harmful things that we do to ourselves that could potentially put us in this predicament where I could have had easily just continuously not taken care of myself and been in the same position as my cousin, rest in peace. A lot of times I just was not caring, like know what I'm doing and just don't care. And I sit there and think to myself, especially when I feel like at some point it's like, oh, I'm a failure. You feel like you're a failure when you're not up to certain standards. I'm the oldest of two little brothers. How are they supposed to look at me if I'm not where I'm supposed to be? What do I have to offer? You know? And my mindset was always on that whole, like, not necessarily like woe is me kind of mentality, but I always felt like it was a lot to deal with. Me being an older brother, and stuff like that, and just like I said, people surpassing me. Like, I should have my license and I should be driving. How long am I going to be going about not driving? Sure, the scooter is awesome. I got like I love riding the scooter. I probably still ride the scooter even if I drive. Like, I might keep the joint in the back, charge, and just ride around like close by, or even if it's like even if I like work close by or just want to like ride a scooter, I might still do that. Why not? Can't stop me. I could do what I want. But it's the mentality. And my mentality for the longest time was outwards, I always promote positivity, which is what I'm about. I promote positivity. I try to keep things positive, make sure everybody is doing okay, being that person to listen and stuff. But realistically, I don't know what it is, but a lot of times I still kind of feel like I shut myself away from society when it comes to myself. For the longest time, I kept having like negative thoughts about just everything, every individual thing, every single thing that really ran through my mind of the kind of person I am and what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong. I get better each year. I'm not as bad as I used to be when it comes to anything. Like, I started learning how to cook more so. But every time I fall down into a depression, it's like the sunken place. Like, it just keeps getting me going and going down and down and down. And it's like, how do I come out of this? I feel like it really comes down to you of what you feel like is the person who stops you from being great is yourself. Because only you can decide what to do with your life, how things will affect you, and going from that. We're all human. Yes, I will agree to that. We all go through stuff. Everything affects everybody differently. But people don't understand is that we do pick and choose a little bit of when to be motivated, what to be motivated for, what we eat, what we spend our money on, saving our money, and so forth. It's a mindset end of the day. And realistically, like, I feel like I could have been so further along than I have, and even me saying that word in context is something I shouldn't even be saying, which contradicted myself speaking at this moment. But realistically, I had to also learn moving forward that it's not even about where you were, where you could have been. It's like, just you focus on how to do those things at this moment. You sit there and you tell yourself, you know what? Forget all that. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. That's why a lot of the stuff I started slowly just jumping towards the opportunity to just do things rather than thinking like I'm no good for it. The longest time I felt like, but I was going through a different kind of depression, of more so going through suicidal thoughts. Why am I sitting there thinking that I don't belong here? That would, like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But I just felt like I wasn't good enough to be here. And now I'm sitting there seeing like so many people who, at least from what I have witnessed, are enjoying their lives of being here and stuff like that, and their lives are cut short. I'm not sitting there saying like I was doing stuff to cut my life short, but me having these ideas in my head, thinking like the pain and the misery and stuff that I'm going through. Why, like, do I need to be here? It's crazy. I'm like, I lost my freaking cousin the other day. What it like, oh my gosh. And it hit me so weird this morning because I thought I'd be fine. I got to work and I was just like, I mean, sometimes people have a little bit of time to prep, but what about the people who get gunned down by the police and stuff? You know, these are people I'm sure love to live. They enjoy their lives. And I'm sitting here taking my life for granted. Am I just a burden to others? Just in the way, taking up space. Crazy is like being in that mindset. If I were to allow myself to even for a second be like, just wanting something bad to happen to me, where others who enjoyed life didn't even want that to happen, just seeing how it affected family. Realistically, like, what people are going to miss me. And it's crazy to think about that because for the longest time, especially when you go through suicidal thoughts, you think no one cares. It's hard to really tell how people feel because, one, it seems like people seem to care the most when you pass away. A lot of people do care when you're here. You got plenty of people that love you, so you should focus on that. But it's interesting because why the last one, when I lost my Aunt Roslyn, rest in peace, why before that we have family arguing, beefing and stuff, people not talking to each other, talking about each other? Why is that a mentality that goes on, not just in my family, but just in families in general? Like, sure, everybody is different and stuff like that. You guys don't have to like interact like close buds or nothing, but don't be nasty. You don't have to be that person. And then when somebody dies, everybody is sad and trying to contact each other and be like, I'm sorry, I love you. And that mentality is the worst. I really dislike when that happens. And it's like, I lost my Aunt Roslyn, and then people do that. And then after they kind of like calm down a little bit, it's back to the same routine. My cousin passes away, and what is about to happen? Everybody is posting up sad stuff and stuff like that. And probably interacted with each other like, oh my gosh, uh, just checking everything, everybody's crying and stuff. What's gonna happen once they kind of everything is? I mean, it's not gonna never be back to normal, but what's gonna happen when you kind of everything kind of slowly gets back to normal? Everything goes back to the way it was a little bit. It'll hit you. It'll hit you still, like it always hits you, and even like years to come, people will still probably cry over it, like crying over like this kind of stuff. But why do we always like beef with each other the whole time until somebody passes away? But that's why I don't do that, especially saying like mean and hurtful things. Shortcutting people back or whatever is an okay substitute for the most part, as long as like I'm not beefing hateful things and stuff like that, because you never know. You say something hateful to somebody and they won't be here the next day. You don't know that. You do not know your last day on earth, so don't take your life for granted. And you don't know somebody else's last day on earth, so don't take their life for granted. Mentality, that kind of thought process, and it's like wash, rinse, and repeat each time. And I hate, excuse me, I really try not to say hate as much as possible. I dislike when there's a death, because no one likes to post that kind of stuff. Sure, like it happens, but when it hits close to home, it hurts the most. He was 40. Like a lot of times when they reach up to like a certain age, but you be expecting and hoping that they get like in their 70s or 80s or 90s. You know, I mean, eventually it's gonna be someone's time to go, but the earlier it happens, you like it was so much more they probably could have did. It feels like a simulation. Like you don't like this stuff happens, you don't think twice on it because it seems too good to be true. It's like losing anybody. It's just too good to be true. Now you're sitting there thinking like, now this person is no longer with us. We don't purposely know 100% what's out there in the afterlife. Everyone has their own um, ideals and beliefs and stuff of what they think happens in the afterlife and everything like that. Personally, I believe he's with God now. He's not dealing with any more pain and struggle, no more misery. He's at peace. While we're sitting here arguing and fighting with each other, he's at peace. And that's what's crazy, because there, if he's up there in heaven watching us, he's at peace. But watching this doesn't keep nobody at peace. That's what we don't understand either. When someone passes away and stuff, and they still they look down from above at us, still cutting up and acting. It's like you can't, like, what can you do? Like you're not really letting them live at peace, because now you're looking like what are they doing? What is wrong with them? And any kind of thing, like health issues in any kind of capacity can affect you in different ways. But realistically, I'm definitely going to be focusing on myself and focusing on how I can really excel in life. And YouTube is one of those things. But I can't sit in this house. I can't sit in this room depressed for about 5 to 7 business days like a damn delivery service. Like, I'm not going to be able to post anything or get up on here and do anything. I got to get my act together. Sure, I got to give myself time to like grieve, and like this, it'll hit me. So if it hits me, I just won't post. But I can't treat this like this is a everyday thing. And because my mindset, like, it wasn't even like, oh, woe is me, or just be sad, into like it wasn't even pre-planned. I just randomly was just thinking like in my head, how long is this gonna affect me, and should I post anything into a certain day? And I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Don't let anything defeat you, not even yourself. You get in your own way in a lot of situations. You can reflect on, like I said, with the health stuff or whatever. I used to deal with that too. I could have been in that same boat. And imagining how a death is affecting the family, imagining how I might affect the family. I think nobody don't care about me. No, like they don't love me. Like life would be better without me. What kind of mentality is that? Keep doing what I'm doing, and finding new ways to really focus myself, focus my talents, and just getting shit done. Cause I can do it. I believe in myself, and you should too. Start taking care of yourself now. start going for your goals and stuff that you believe in, and nothing can stop you. The only person gets in your way is yourself. Even if people say that you can't do it, or this, you feel like someone is trying to block you. At the end of the day, you can find your way around them. If someone is standing right blocking the door, there's a back door. There's windows. You can find your way in. You jump in your window. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys for listening. Stay blessed. No stress. Let God take care of the rest. And I will see you in the next.